Nigeria does not have a judiciary that is an independent arm of a democratic government.
That was why I asked him the
What Nigeria has is the legal department of every government in power. That is what Nigeria has. Nigeria's judiciary is not the last hope of the common man. It is the last hope of the uncommon man. An institution that should protect everybody, no matter your class or status, has now been weaponized against the people. And only the people of Nigeria, because guess what? If you think this problem is just about Rivers State, you are being ridiculous. You are just making a joke because they test it somewhere. If you want to see what state capture look like, you can look at Lagos State, where there is no meaningful opposition. A senator in Nigeria, Senator Ireti Kingigbe in Abuja, on a rise during the Natasha Bruhaha, told the nation on TV that the National Assembly is not opposition friendly. A National Assembly that should perform oversight. Imagine a democracy without opposition. If you do not fix an electoral system to be able to hold these people accountable, wait for 2027 and see how wild this race gets.
So from what all of you are saying, right, the legislature is gone.
Captured.
The judiciary is also not necessarily standing on 2 feet. The people need to do something.
Yeah. You know, whether constitutional crisis or not, what I want to say is that there is a dangerous level of ignorance amongst Nigerians. And this ignorance is not just about the educated, the illiterate folks. It's more with the educated. What we are seeing in Nigeria today is a deliberate attempt to convert the entire state into a one-party state. And Nigerians are gleefully, you know, applauding it into its full implementation. I believe in strong leadership. And if we want to address the issues in Rivers State, you must go to the root cause of the problem. Any other thing you're doing is addressing a symptom and leaving the cause. What is the root cause of the problem in Rivers State? A man who was a former governor, who had the opportunity to be former chairman, former chief of staff, became governor, believes he has had so much power to the extent that he boasted on TV in 2023 that he single-handedly purchased forms for everybody who contested election in Rivers State under PDP in 2023. And so having installed the government that is there, he has a right to dictate how the government runs. So right now, instead of us paying attention to why should one person be able to install a government, do Rivers people not have the capacity to pick a governor? So the problem that led us here is a failed and corrupt electoral system. Until you fix that system that empowers one person to be able to boast and tell you that I have installed a government or a puppet, then you are going to be going round in circles. And before you know, another election cycle comes, they do what they're able to do, and then we continue protesting and talking about this. It is almost a little too late, and when you talk about politicians, you can almost expect no pushback from them. It is a beautiful question you have asked. As it is now, the question is, what do we do moving forward? If you bring APC lawyers to this platform, they will rationalize why what the president did is correct. If you bring other normal right-thinking persons, the NBA have even criticized it. But in all of it, the administrator is seated in Rivers Government House now. The suspension will hold. If institutions of democracy were working, the National Assembly should have been the stopgap measure for it. But of course, that institution does not even work as an institution to carry out oversight. It is an extension of the executive. That is what the principal officers they believe. The question to Nigerians should be asking themselves is, at what point are you able to now put yourself in the conversation? Because what we are discussing, some people say it is agreement between two godfather and godson. It is, for example, two criminals discussing how you want to steal or share something that does not belong to you. So you want to take. We are talking about Rivers State Commonwealth. So the people of Rivers State, what is their stake in this? And that is why I'm telling you that has only to do with electoral reform. If not for INEC and the judiciary, a lot of persons who are in the National Assembly will not be there today. If not for INEC and the judiciary, will the Rivers State governor be the governor today? So Nigerians will pay attention to the root cause of the problem, which will mean demanding electoral reform, because what you are seeing now will be played across different states. Tinubu has nothing to lose in Rivers State. The weaker the two parties are, the better for him. Look at Kano, where there is an opposition governor. You have a high court emir, you have an appeal, a federal high court emir, state high court emir. Everywhere there is an opposition, a stone is being thrown to weaken. Before you know, every institution of state will be controlled by one person or one man, and nothing will be done. The only means of accountability is INEC. INEC is the weapon fashioned against Nigerians. The day you realize that, the day Nigerians will begin to move forward. Other than that, we will wait for another problem. We come, we discuss, dissect, and what the president wants to do, will be realized.
But the INEC, as it's set up now, can almost not be independent,
yes.
even though the I is what the I stands for. We see that. We've seen what happens. The president sort of still appoints.
Yes.
You know, the head of the INEC, they are supposed to be independent. But we hear all of these stories and we see how things play out. Yeah. You know, how does that work? How does this reform work with the National Assembly that you're saying Nigerians don't have a lot of faith in anymore?
Nigerians do not have strong men. They have weak men who are enabled by the docility of the people. Nigerians have failed to realize the importance of the electoral system. What is the definition of a democracy? We have been living in an alternate reality. The simple definition of democracy is a government where power is vested in the people. Mr. Ibuka, Nigeria has not been able to get an electoral process where people can choose their leaders. And we keep calling ourselves a democracy, which is a fallacy. Nigerians must put maximum civil pressure on the authorities to do what they need to do to reform INEC. And it is even a challenge to Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I am putting a challenge. You are a Democrat. Forget about people who say you should leave your government or your government nobody wants. No, be president. But let the president come out and make a statement telling Nigerians that I believe in democracy and I am committing to free, fair, credible elections in 2027. And beginning today, I will begin that process. Move that challenge to the Senate President, move it to the Speaker House of Reps, and let Nigerian youth and all other Nigerians begin to sing that song. And let us see. Or does the president, not as a Democrat, not like free and fair elections? It is Nigerians that must ensure. Nigerians must put pressure. Every day the Senate President will come and say we are Democrats. Why Democrats no come like free and fair elections? Why? Do you have issues with it? Are you afraid that if there are free, fair, peaceful elections, you may not be in office? Let the president take up this challenge and commit to free and fair elections. Let us see truly the sincerity of your peoples as a leader in a democracy. Other than that, if he fails to do so, it is up to Nigerians to put the pressure and get what they need in the best interest of all of us. I just wanted to add, because he said that Fubara has to be a man. You can only be a man when you are born legitimately and then you grow through the developmental stages. If somebody brings you out of nowhere and becomes something, then you become, obliged to him. And that is the problem in Rivers State. A lot of persons do not feel that they should come out. Have you seen Rivers State people protesting? You should ask that question. A lot of persons feel that they are not beholden to this government. We don't have a hand in your emergence. So there is nothing we will do about it. It is your fight. Fight it. And then if you expect Fubara to go to the High Court, with all due respect to the lawyer here, Nigeria does not have a judiciary that is an independent arm of a democratic government.
That was why I asked him.
What Nigeria has is the legal department of every government in power. That is what Nigeria has. Nigeria's judiciary is not the last hope of the common man. It is the last hope of the uncommon man. An institution that should protect everybody, no matter your class or status, has now been weaponized against the people. And only the people of Nigeria, because guess what? If you think this problem is just about Rivers State, you are being ridiculous. You are just making a joke because they test it somewhere. If you want to see what states capture look like, you can look at Lagos State, where there is no meaningful opposition. A senator in Nigeria, Senator Ireti Kingigbe in Abuja, on a rise during the Natasha brouhaha, told the nation on TV that the National Assembly is not opposition friendly. A National Assembly that should perform oversight. Imagine a democracy without opposition. If you do not fix an electoral system to be able to hold these people accountable, wait for 2027 and see how wild this race gets.
So from what all of you are saying, right, the legislature is gone.
Captured.
The judiciary is also not necessarily standing on 2 feet. The people need to do something.
Yes.
But the people are also worried, right? Like I said at the start of this show, we saw the youth copper who put up a TikTok, I believe, talking about her own experience of Nigeria, which a lot of people related to. And we saw what unfolded after that. Yes. She was called in for questioning. There were threats to her. There was even talk about killing her. I saw a tweet to that effect, When people see that, what do you expect them to do in a nation where there's no recourse in courts, like you're saying? What then is the next move?
The power of the people must be greater than the people in power. In fact, the corpus situation was even mild. We had an issue on October 20, 2020, where live arms were fired at peaceful Nigerians who were holding their country's flag and singing the anthem seated on the floor. So Nigerians have every reason to have political apathy, where people become disenfranchised and do not want to participate. But what is the other option? If you keep quiet, you die. If you talk, you are going to die. Nigerians are dying without protesting. People are protesting in Akure now, as he rightly said. In Adamawa, in Yobe State, 3 soldiers were executed in point blank by bandits or by terrorists. Nigerians must find the courage and the wisdom to strategically fight and build a nation that they want, because it will not happen by chance. Every nation that is built today was built by resilience. If you think that, oh, by keeping quiet, that is the plan of the state actors. They want everybody to cow in. You cannot talk. If you talk, they come after you. If every Nigerian, including prominent people who mean well, come out every day, 1 million people, and continue to talk about what is wrong with the government, there are not enough prisons to put everybody. You cannot kill everybody. You want to kill everybody and rule over their ashes or the dead of their bodies. Nigerians must find the courage. That National Assembly, we will go there and exercise our right to peaceful assembly and demand electoral reform from people who are there who call themselves Democrats. You like election, you like free and fair, you are Democrats. You will give it to us. When we are ready, with time, it will happen.